Hello students, welcome back to the economics class of plus 2 standard. As we were working with lesson number 4, consumer behavior, cardinal and ordinal utility analysis. Today we will learn about law of diminishing marginal utility, relation between the marginal utility curve and the demand curve. The theory of consumer behavior is based on the assumption that the consumer is a rational human being, means consumer always wants cheap and best commodity in order to get the maximum satisfaction. He plans the spending of his given income according to the market prices of the commodities to attain the maximum utility. This is the axiom of utility maximization. The consumer compares the utility of various goods while purchasing goods. Due to the limited resources, a consumer is unable to satisfy all of his wants. Therefore, he has to follow some principle or law which enables him to attain maximum satisfaction. There are two approaches to the problem of consumption of utility. First one is cardinal approach and second one is ordinal approach or indifference curve approach. The numbers from 1 to 3 and so on are the cardinal numbers, means the things that we can measure in numbers. The numbers like first, second, third and so on are the ordinal numbers. Such numbers are ranked, like the things that we can't measure, like satisfaction, it is not measurable, so we can rank it. Now next one is, let us discuss some important key terms related to this topic. First one is utility, cardinal utility, marginal utility, total utility and consumer's behavior or consumer's equilibrium. Next one is, first one is utility. A chain smoker will always put efforts for regular supply of cigarettes. Next one is, when we feel hungry, only eatables can satisfy our hunger. So utility is a want satisfying power of a commodity. Next one is, when you will feel thirsty in the cardinal utility. Your utility will be counted with 1 glass of water or 2 glasses of water, means the number of glasses you have taken to satisfy your thirst. That is known as cardinal utility. Suppose you have taken 2 glasses of water, so your cardinal utility it is equals to 2. So cardinal utility means when we can measure the utility of a commodity in imaginary numbers called utils. Cardinal utility. Examples like pizza gives me more satisfaction as I get 60 utils after eating it in comparison to burger which gives me 40 utils. So utils is the imaginary unit by which we measure utility. Marginal utility. You are feeling hungry, you take 1 idli and you get some utility. You consume the second unit of idli and you have get the more satisfaction, suppose 32 units. And the additional satisfaction you get from the consumption of the second idli, it is called the marginal utility, that we can derive like 32 minus 20 will give you 12. This 12 is the satisfaction that the consumer has got from the consumption of second idli. So marginal utility is the extra utility obtained from the consumption of an additional unit of a commodity. In the same way, when the consumer will consume the third idli, he will get the total utility, that is 38, and marginal utility it is 38 minus 32, that is 6. So the marginal utility from the consumption of third idli it is 6. Next one is total utility. Suppose you are thirsty and you have taken 3 glasses of water to satisfy your thirst. So your total utility is 3, means the number of glasses you will drink is your total utility. So total utility is obtained by adding utility derived from consumption of all the units of a commodity. So total utility it is equals to 3. Next one is determination of consumer's equilibrium. Two laws have been developed to explain the consumer behavior in the utility approach. First one is the law of diminishing marginal utility and second one is the law of equi-marginal utility. Consumer's equilibrium first we will discuss. Suppose consumer has ₹20 and he goes to the market and found 3 sets of goods in the market. Price of each product in the set is ₹1 each unit. First set there are 7 units of rice, 6 units of vegetable and 5 units of fruit. So price for rice it is 7, price for vegetable 6 and price for fruits it is 5. So total expenditure for the first set that is ₹18. And in the second set there are 7 units of rice worth ₹7, 3 units of burger for ₹3 and 10 units of fruit worth ₹10. So total expenditure will be ₹20 for the purchase of second set. And in the third set there are 10 units of fruit worth ₹10 and 7 units of rice worth ₹7 and 7 units of biscuits worth ₹7. So the total expenditure will be ₹24 if we will purchase the third set of commodities. Now the consumer will prefer to purchase the second set because he gets maximum utility here according to the price and quality, as he is having ₹20 only in his pocket. This is his equilibrium condition, as the price of the commodity and the money in the pocket of the consumer remains the same. So if the consumer prefer the first set, he will get surplus because its cost it is ₹18 and he is having ₹20 to spend. So the consumer surplus it is equals to ₹2. Conversely, if he prefers the third unit, he will have to pay ₹4 extra. So he will not prefer the third unit also. So the consumer equilibrium is a situation in which the consumer maximizes his utility subject to a given budget constraint. Next one is illustration of the law of diminishing marginal utility. Suppose a consumer has to consume mangoes. He may get utility from the different units of mangoes. The consumer gets marginal utility equals to ₹3. For the first unit of mango, marginal utility it is equals to 3 from the first unit of mangoes. The marginal utility goes on diminishing. Like with the consumption of second units of mango, the marginal utility it is 2.5 and from the third unit of mangoes, the marginal utility it is equals to 2. So from the 7th unit of marginal utility of the consumer does not get any utility, as here the marginal utility it is equals to 0. It is called the saturation point. If the consumer will continue the consumption of mangoes beyond the 7th unit of marginal utility becomes 0. With the consumption of 8th unit, marginal utility becomes negative. Consumer will feel bitter taste on his tongue. Diagrammatical representation of the law it is, I have measured the marginal utility or the price on the y-axis and units of mangoes on the x-axis. Now first of all, for the first unit of mangoes, marginal utility it is 3. For the second unit of mangoes, marginal utility it is 2.5. For the third units of mangoes, marginal utility it is equals to 2. After joining all these points, you will get a downward sloping marginal utility curve, and the point R here shows the point of satiety where the marginal utility it is equals to 0. As you can see that marginal utility curve cuts the x-axis at point 7 where the marginal utility becomes 0, and this point is known as point of satiety. Law of diminishing marginal utility. This law is represented by Alfred Marshall. This law states that if a consumer consumes successive units of a commodity, the marginal utility goes on diminishing. In the words of Alfred Marshall, the additional benefit a person derives from a given increase of his stock of a thing diminishes with every increase in the stock that he already has. Next one is consumer's equilibrium in case of single free good. Like in a langar hall at Golden Temple, a consumer will eat till his hunger is satisfied. So, a consumer will consume the commodity till the point of satiety, as he has not to pay the price for the commodity. In that case, you can see here that first unit of mangoes, marginal utility it is 3, second unit of mangoes, marginal utility it is 2.5. So, as you consume more and more units of a commodity, your marginal utility continuously decreasing, and the point will reach when the consumer will feel satisfied from his eatings and it will leave the commodity. So, the consumer's equilibrium will be stated as MUX, where the marginal utility of from the X commodity it is equals to the price of that commodity, since the price of the commodity is assumed to be 0. AB is the marginal utility curve. So, the consumer will be in equilibrium where the marginal utility it is equals to 0, that is at point B. This point is known as point of satisfaction where marginal utility it is 0. Consumer's equilibrium in case of single good for which he has to pay the price. In this case, the consumer will consume a commodity till the marginal utility it is equals to price, where the marginal utility it is equals to price. That point will be the equilibrium for the consumer. On the y-axis we have measured the marginal utility, and on the x-axis we have measured the units of mangoes. With the consumption of first unit of mango, marginal utility it is 3. With the second unit of mangoes, marginal utility it is equals to 2.5. With the consumption of third unit of mango, marginal utility it is equals to 2. After joining these points, we will get a downward sloping marginal utility curve which cuts the x-axis at point 7, where the marginal utility it is equals to 0, and that point is known as point of satiety. And now we are having the price given, that is 1.5 for each mango. So, the marginal utility curve which cuts the price line at point E, that is the equilibrium point for the consumer when the consumer has to pay the price for the commodity. Diagrammatical representation of the law of marginal utility. This is the point of equilibrium for the consumer when the consumer has to pay the price for the commodity he consumed. Now, illustration of the law of diminishing marginal utility. Suppose the price of mangoes is rupees 1.5 per unit. The consumer has to pay a price. He will restrict his consumption of mangoes to a level where marginal utility of mangoes is equals to the price of mangoes. In the table, the equality occurs when he consumes 4 units of mangoes. At this level of consumption, the consumer will get the maximum total utility, that is equals to 3 plus 2.5 plus 2 plus 1.5, it is equals to 9. So, he spent a total of rupees 6, that is 1.5 multiplied by 4, and gets the total utility worth rupees 9. He enjoys a surplus of satisfaction, that is rupees 9 minus rupees 6, it is equals to rupees 3. This is also called consumer's surplus. Next one is, if he consumes the 5th unit of mangoes, he will get the additional utility of rupee 1, whereas he would have to pay rupees 1.5. He would not like to do this. He will not consume the 5th unit and restrict his consumption to 4 units. If he consumes 5th unit, he gets a total utility equals to rupees 10 and pays rupees 7.50, that is 1.5 multiplied by 5, it is equals to rupees 7.50. So, his surplus of satisfaction falls, that is rupees 10 minus rupees 7.50, it is equals to rupees 2.5. He will not like it. Conversely, suppose he restrict his consumption to 2 units. He gets a total utility of 3 plus 2.5, it is equals to rupees 5.5, and pays a total of rupees 3, that is rupees 1.5 multiplied by 2 will give you rupees 3. His surplus of satisfaction is 5.5 minus rupees 3, it is equals to 2.5. So he can increase his surplus of satisfaction till he reaches a point where marginal utility of the consumption of X commodity, it is equals to the price of the X commodity. Assumptions of the law of diminishing marginal utility. First one is reasonability. Consumption of a commodity should be in proper units. For example, a glass of water will be considered as 1 unit and not a drop of water or teaspoonful. All units of commodity should be identical, means every time the consumer will drink water in the same glass. Continuity. Consumption should be continuous, means consumer will drink water at the same time, either 3 glasses of water or 2 glasses of water. Next one is rationality. A consumer should be a rational person, means he wants cheap and best commodity, means consumer always aiming at the maximum satisfaction. Time period of consumption should not be too long. The price of the substitute goods should not be changed. Homogeneity. The law holds true only when all the successive units consumed are homogeneous in quality, size, taste, flavor, color, etc. If the quality or quantity of second idli is superior than the first, the consumer may obtain more utility from the second idli. Next one is consistency. The law assumes that there is no change in income, taste, habit or preference of the consumer. Likewise, the price of the commodity is also assumed to be given. If these things change, it will be difficult to know about the utility the consumer may get. Cardinal measurement of utility. Utility can be measured. Consumer is capable of mentioning the quantum of utility derived from each additional unit consumed. Next one is limitations or exceptions of the law of diminishing marginal utility. First one is hobbies. This law does not apply to hobbies like collection of old coins, rare paintings, collection of stamps, etc. Because every time we feel that I have to collect more coins, more paintings. Now next one is intoxicants. Marginal utility in the same case, some cases increases rather than decreases, like wine for a drunkard person. Utility cannot be measured. Utility does not consume only one commodity. Consumption is not always continuous. Goods of display. The law does not apply to such public goods as telephones, because the greater the utility, greater the number of telephones in a town, the greater is the utility obtained from the use of a telephone. Next one is good books or poetry. According to Tossing, good books, music or poetry may give the interested persons more and more utility. They want more and more poetry. Next one is first time consumption of a commodity. In this case, when a person who sees the television for the first time in his life wants to see the television program continuously. When a consumer consumes a commodity for the first time, then he may get increasing marginal utility for some time. Next one is importance of the law of diminishing marginal utility. The main advantages of this law are as follows. First one is basis of the law of demand. When a person consumes more unit of say oranges, he gets less and less satisfaction from the additional units of oranges. Obviously, he will not prepare to buy the additional units of oranges unless they are offered at lower prices. For the units which give him higher utility, the consumer will be prepared to pay more, and for the units which give him lesser utility, the consumer will not like to pay as much. Thus, the law of demand is based on the law of diminishing marginal utility. The demand curve is sloping downwards because marginal utility curve on which it is based is downward sloping. Variety in consumption and production. The changes in design, pattern and packing of commodities, very often brought about by producers, are in keeping with this law. We know that the use of same good makes us feel bored. Its utility diminishes in our estimation. We want a variety in soaps, toothpaste, pens, dresses, shoes, etc. Thus, this law helps in bringing variety in production and consumption also. Importance in the theory of value. With the increase in the stock of commodity like shirts of same design and quality, its marginal utility means additional satisfaction diminishes. The law helps to explain the phenomena in value theory that the price of a commodity falls when its supply increases. Next one is explanation of the diamond water paradox. The famous diamond water paradox of Smith can be explained with the help of this law. Because of its relative scarcity, diamond possesses high marginal utility and so a high price. Water is relatively abundant, it possesses low marginal utility and hence low price, even though its total utility is high. That is why water has lower price as compared to the diamond, though it is more useful than diamond. Importance to finance minister. The principle of progression in taxation is also based on this law. As a person's income increases, the rate of tax rises because the marginal utility of money to him falls with the rise in his income. Society. This law underlines the socialist plea for an equitable distribution of wealth. The marginal utility of money to the rich is low. It is therefore advisable that their surplus wealth be acquired by the state and distributed to the poor who possess high marginal utility for money. Relationship between marginal utility curve and the demand curve. According to utility analysis, a consumer will get maximum satisfaction only when the price paid for the commodity it is equals to the marginal utility derived from the consumption of that commodity. In the diagram, the marginal utility curve shows the decreasing marginal utility with the increase in the consumption of ice cream. Suppose that the price of 1 cup of ice cream it is ₹6 and the quantity demanded of ice cream it is 1 cup, because at this point marginal utility it is equals to price. Thus the pair 6 and 10 will be on the demand curve. If the price falls to ₹4, then marginal utility will be greater than price. To attain the position of equilibrium, marginal utility should fall to the level of 4 utils. Therefore, the consumption of ice cream has to be increased to 2 cups, where again marginal utility is equals to price. That is, at price ₹4, the quantity demanded is 2 cups. Hence, the pair 4/2 will be on the demand curve too. Likewise, we can determine that all other points on the marginal utility curve are points on the demand curve. This clearly means that the marginal utility curve itself is the demand curve. Diamond water paradox. A man cannot live without water, and total utility of water to any man is very high. The price a consumer is willing to pay for the commodity is determined by its marginal utility and not the total utility. So, consumer use water in large quantities. Whenever a consumer uses a large quantity of a commodity, its marginal utility declines due to the law of diminishing marginal utility. Since the marginal utility of water is low, the price at which the market supply of water will clear the market has to be low. Unlike water, diamonds are not essential for life. Most of the consumers possess few diamonds and marginal utility of diamonds are high to them, and they are willing to pay high price for diamonds. On the supply side, the marginal cost, the additional cost of producing one more unit of output of water is low, because additional amount of water can be produced easily. Thus, the demand and supply curve of water, behind which lie the low marginal utilities of consumer and low marginal cost of producers, intersect where the market price is low and the market volume is large. So, diamonds on the other hand are rather scarce and their marginal costs are high. Therefore, the demand and supply curves for diamonds intersect at relatively small volume and high price. Hope students you have understood the law of diminishing marginal utility. Now it's time to note down the homework. Our first question is, define the following terms with example: utility, cardinal utility, marginal utility, total utility and consumers equilibrium. Our second question is, diagrammatically explain the law of diminishing marginal utility. Third question is, write the assumptions and exceptions of the law of diminishing marginal utility. And fourth question is, write the causes behind the law of diminishing marginal utility. And fifth question is, explain the diamond water paradox of value. And students, please go through the YouTube links also for more clarity, and hope you all will complete the notes in your fair copies for better learning. Thank you for listening.